Hi everybody, hope you're all okay, enjoying a nice bank holiday weekend. I know I am, just been to a village fair, which was nice. It's one of the things I moved down to Cornwall for, to see that sort of thing. They have a lot like May fairs and stuff down here, and it's different to where I was in Northamptonshire. Saw a Cornish wrestling demonstration, that was good. Bought a cake. Yeah, it was a nice day though. It's nice to be off as well. Short week. Anyway, I'm carrying on with the AWI slowly, as I always am, always slow. But yeah, carrying on with American War of Independence. These are it's for the Battle of Trenton. I'm focusing on the Hessians at the moment. These are Hessian Fusiliers. Perry, metal ones. Lovely figures. It's going to be a unit of 24 because I'm doing them for Land of the Free, and in the scenario the class is a large unit, and I'm having 24 as a large unit, and then 18 medium, 12 small, 6 tiny sort of infantry. So yeah, large, sorry, and all the Hessian units are large in this, but they're still well outnumbered. Continentals must be about 3 times the amount. Fortunately, there's plenty of options in plastic for Continentals, so it's won't be as an expensive prospect. Anyway, these Fusiliers. There's Lossberg, or von Lossberg, orange facings, red turnbacks, which I believe they all had. All the Hessian regiments had that. Yeah, these 6 are complete. Like I said, it's Trenton, and it was fought in, I think it was around about Christmas, and it was in the snow, because I believe they Yanks had trouble with they got the artillery there, but they were struggling to get it there because it was in the snow. So I'm just doing snow bases for all of them. I'm not worrying about whether they can be used for other scenarios. There's plenty of winter scenarios anyway, but I'll be happy to just have enough figures for one scenario, basically. Trenton will be happy with that. I probably will collect some more, because like I say, this is a purely Hessian force, apart from 6 dismounted British Dragoons. But I would like, I've got some of the plastic British infantry, so I'd like to make use of them. So I'm going to look for another scenario where I can use those. In fact, I found one, I think, at Camden, which was like in the south, so there'd be slightly different uniforms, different headgear. I've got a fair bit of the forces already, I suppose, with the plastics for the British anyway. But for now, I'm happy to just concentrate on Trenton for AWI and do something else like for another period. Yeah, Lossberg, orange facings, red turnbacks. I used dark Prussian blue, Vallejo dark Prussian blue. Gave it black wash, highlighted again with dark Prussian blue, and then I used Games Workshop blue for the final highlight, which I think was called Cantor blue. Come out alright, I think. Dodgy light today. I'm near a window, and if I have the blinds open, it's you can't see anything. But with them shut, it makes it a bit dull, which is one of those things. But hopefully you can get a good idea of how they are. One thing I'll point out is most of the illustrations I've seen of Hessians in, well, at least definitely in Trenton anyway, they've all got the black gaiters, but Perry ones aren't sculpted with them on, so I've painted them on. I much prefer the look of it. It's a pity I'm not sculpted, but yeah, I prefer the look of the black gaiters, and it looks more like all the illustrations I've seen. So yeah, painted them in on in black. For a comparison, you can these drummers at the back there, I'm only part way through them, but as you can see in the all white, I think they look much better with black gaiters. So yeah, that's, I'll just show you the drummers a bit, because they got slightly more faffy uniforms. Like I say, I'm not finished yet. That's Paul, my mate, messaging me. Yeah, got slightly more faffy uniforms, but not too bad. I mean, Paul said that, oh yeah, painting Hessian's easy. To me, they've sort of been like painting Napoleonics. So, a bit time consuming, but yeah, they're nice. Saying like that, not finished yet. I think the apron I'm going to do, I didn't even know the drummers had an apron, to be honest. I think I'll do it a kind of red leather sort of colour. Drums nearly done, just got to do these clasps, which I'm going to do in a kind of steel colour. But yeah, still got all the gear on the back to sort out yet, and highlining and everything. But yeah, I like the drummers. Nice poses as well. So yeah, that's the Hessians so far, and I've got the rest of the command sort of part way through, but they're not as advanced as these drummers. They're basically really just basic colours on. Another thing I'm into at the moment is, which I've been into it for years, but just never really got stuck into it, is Gangsters. I've been painting some of these, which really enjoying. Yeah, it's something I've been, I bought the figures years ago, probably a good 5-6 years ago, I would imagine. These ones are Blue Moon, which got from Glory UK. They come with these already sculpted kind of paving bases, which is handy, and they're about 21mm wide. I've also got a range from Brigade Games, but they come in, with a standard sort of, I'll just get one actually. Yeah, they come in with the standard kind of oval metallic sort of built-in base. So I've just stuck them to a plastic base and used milliput to make a paved effect. But this guy's he's only base coats on, nowhere near complete yet. But it seemed to be a fairly good match in size. I think the Blue Moon is slightly bigger, but not enough of a difference to bother me. But yeah, really nice figures. The Blue Moon, well, they're all nice. The Brigade figures are brilliant. I love them. Blue Moon ones are really characterful. Almost a bit Dick Tracy. Yeah, really characterised. Really good though. For the painting of the suits, I'm not using washes, which is my usual method of painting. I mean, for this fella, this is pretty much Elliot Ness. It's like Kevin Costner in it from Untouchables. Yeah, not doing washes. The method I'm using, quite quick to paint. I don't need to varnish and wearing away a bit there. I mean, this guy, for instance, I painted with Vallejo Luftwaffe Blue. And then rather than using a wash, I just added, I think I added like a black or a dark blue to the base colour. And then just painted the shading in. Typically the light's changing, so it's hard to see. It might come out better. I mean, often when you actually publish these videos, the picture looks totally different. But yeah, so I've just painted in the creases and folds and that, and bits of shading on the trousers, trying to do it fairly subtly, you know, I don't want it to look too stark. And then for the highlight, I basically added to the Luftwaffe blue, I added, I think it was French Mirage blue, something like that. Added a couple of blobs of that just to do two sort of pale highlights, but you know, like I say, I'm trying to keep it a bit more subtle, because I think with, you know, expanses of cloth, of plain cloth like this, what it's meant to represent, plain cloth, I think if you're doing your washes and faffing around lots of highlighting, I think it'd end up looking really messy. I mean, a wash alone just like stains the whole thing, doesn't it? And you've got to try and paint that all back out. So I thought I'd try this method, and pretty happy with how they're coming out. And like I say, they're really quick, because you don't have to wait for your base coat to dry. You can just basically put your first colour on, add your dark bit to it, paint that in. Don't matter if it's still wet, because even then it, you know, if it is, it sort of blends in a bit more. And then you can go straight on and add some pale colours to your base coat and paint your highlights on. So it does make it like quite a quick process to get painted. Yeah, really enjoying them. It's got to sort out scenery now. I mean, again, years ago when I started doing this, I did order some. You can get cardboard, but well, they're a PDF form. You print them out in card and assemble them. I got them from Virtual Armchair General. It's a US company. Do a lot of stuff for colonial British. They're well into that kind of thing. It does a lot of stuff for Sword and the Flame, that kind of thing. But yeah, he's got a range of PDF assembly buildings, which is called Mean Streets. And like I say, you print them out, assemble them in card form. But what I'm going to try and do is print them out and attach them to foam board, so they'd be a bit, you know, more sturdy, rigid structure. So I've got one set already, and I've just ordered a couple more. They're only like $10, so about £8 each. You get a fair bit with each one. And I'm going to send them off to get them printed, because they always come out better. Well, anything I print at home doesn't look much cop, and I found this company called Docs Direct, and they do some really good quality printing. So it's my intention, send a few to them, get them printed, and then, like I say, try and assemble them on foam board, see how it works out. Hopefully it'll. I mean, I'm not a great crafter, really, model maker. Paul, my mate, he's really good at doing buildings and stuff from scratch, but not something I've really tried. The other thing I was going to say as well is, like I said, they've got these paved bases already sculpted on. So you pretty much use them for city scenes, which is why I'm buying those Mean Street buildings. But I'm also thinking of, for the brigade ones, I'm going to use them in kind of dust bowl settings. So I might take these off this base, or take the paving off. I mean, if you've seen things like Last Man Standing, Lawless, really good film on Netflix a minute, Highwaymen, which is Kevin Costner and Woody Harrelson. It's about them hunting Bonnie and Clyde, but it's all set out in the, you know, the kind of dusty, deserty towns. When you're looking at it, all the roads there are like dirt tracks, or even like, doesn't even seem to be, you know, tarmacked or anything. So I thought, yeah, I'll do these, the ones that got the metallic oval bases. I'll use them for more dust bowl settings. And in fact, I'm going to get some Old West buildings, because again, I don't know if any of you've seen Last Man Standing. It's like it's set in an old west town basically. They're all like the old, you know, false front buildings and all that kind of thing. Just looks like the old west, but with, you know, people driving around in cars and with Tommy guns. So yeah, I intend to do 2 kind of settings for it. Like I say, the figures are quick to paint. It's just the scenery really, which is my bugbear, but gotta have a go at it. So yeah, that's the 2 projects I've got going at the moment. I have now got something lined up for the future. I've been interested in Jacobite rebellions or wars for a long time. As you can see, Glencoe there. But very expensive to buy because it's all, you know, there's no plastics available, it's all metal. And even that's not the main kind of sticking point. It's like you don't actually get many different figures. You know, basically you get, you know, a few poses of you know, in metals. So they'd all look too similar, which is why I haven't sort of stumped up yet on that period. But I've sort of, yeah, I started off being keen on the Scottish Jacobite stuff, but started looking into it and going backwards and back. You know what it's like, you start reading about something, then there'll be a mention of what happened, you know, 10 years before. You think, oh, we'll find out about that, and then you end up going back. And what I've become interested in is the Williamite wars, like in Ireland. So it's all like the Jacobite, still Jacobite stuff, but it's in what was going on in Ireland at the time. And like the big battle there was Orgrim. Yeah, like I say, I got these Jacobite books, and I started picking up some ones set further back. I'll move these and see if I can actually show you them. Might not be able to. Yeah, I kept going back, and I got really interested in that part of it. And the first one I bought was this one, Kingdom Overthrown. And that is basically like a, yeah, basically the Williamite Wars. Obviously culminating in Orgrim. I mean, people go on about the Battle of the Boyne, but I think Orgrim was actually the one that was the most decisive. So yeah, I got really interested in that. And this is another one I got of that period. I mean, that's all about Orgrim, but I've seen another book on Orgrim I want to get as well. So, turn it over without knocking everything over. There's a few colour plates in this one. I'll just find some of them quickly. But yeah, Warlord Games got a sale, and sprue sale. So I thought, right, yeah, because the uniforms are similar. They're what they call it, the Marlburian Wars. They got an army starter set. I didn't buy that. I just bought some sprues because it looked to me like the infantry were all similar. Here we go, got some plates there. Big cuffs, wigs, long hair, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so I bought these sprues thinking, right, yeah, I can use them, plastics, and it's a cheap way of building up a couple of armies. What I didn't realise was the bloody hats are different. They wore these, you know, broad-brimmed hats. The Marlburian Wars sets are obviously like for Wars of Spanish Succession, that kind of thing. They got tricorns, so that has miffed me immediately. Already paid for them, and didn't think of that. So I'm now trying to see if I can find some heads that would be suitable. I could just, I mean, I have actually seen people who've done, you know, battle reports and they've just used those figures as they are, but it'll just annoy me. So I'm going to see if I can, yeah, get different heads for them. What I have discovered though, well, not just discovered, I've sort of been aware of them for a while, is a company called League of Augsburg. Their figures look absolutely fantastic, and they're all, you know, exactly this. So I was on their site the other day and I downloaded, they've got some PDFs about Aughrim, and it's got loads of colour uniform plates in it. Well, there's like a set of, I think it was about eight PDFs they've done, and it's on all the different contingents that wear. Well, it's on only the Williamites, it's not the Jacobites, but it's like the English, Welsh, Irish, Dutch, Danish, Huguenots. Some really good information, good plates, and you know, the uniforms look great. So I'm really keen to get onto them, but I think I'm going to end up, well, I don't know what to do now. I want to do this, so it looks like I'm just going to have to start buying League of Augsburg stuff, which, you know, I want to anyway because they're lovely figures, but it's looking like, you know, I was just saying about the cost of doing Jacobites, there's no plastics, but here I am talking about getting a fully metal collection for this. But not really any other option, unless, yeah, if I get some English Civil War heads maybe, might be a bit more passable than tricorns. So that's what I'm looking for at the moment. Going to put them on the plastics I've got. But after looking through Augsburg's catalogue, I think I'm more keen now on getting their figures, because they look absolutely fantastic. It'll just be a bit expensive, so it'll be like a slow process getting them, I suppose. So yeah, that is my future project. I might end up using the Marlborough Wars and do Wars of Spanish Succession as well. Yeah, because I'll have loads of plastics for it then. But I'm definitely going to do this one way or another. Hopefully maybe a combination of the plastics and League of Augsburg. But if it's got to be all theirs, then it will be, because yeah, they look really good. So that is it for now. Thanks to everybody watching, who still is watching, because you know, it's about a year between me making videos at one point. So yeah, thanks for anybody who does watch and subscribe. And I'm watching plenty of videos, just haven't commented on a lot, which I need to, because I think you should, just to make the people aware that you are actually following them. So I'm going to have to rectify that. But yeah, thanks to everybody anyway. Oh, one last thing I meant to show you before I go. I have to put my stack back up there. Yeah, these Gangsters. Not only scenery, obviously you need vehicles. So I started getting these. Ledo. And they look a pretty good match in scale. So yeah, this has become another collection obsession, Ledo. Which again, I did start several years ago when I was getting the gangster figures. Started buying Ledo ones, and you can get them really cheap. I mean, sometimes you can get like 10 for about 15 quid, you know, with postage. They go really cheap. So I started buying like a little bulk lots like that. At first I only needed a few, but it became a thing. Oh, I thought, well, I like these. So I just ended up, every time I saw a cheap small lot, I bought them. I haven't bought any for a little while now, but since I got these Gangsters out, it's got me looking at them again. So I've got some in eBay I'm watching at the moment. But again, like I say, I've got a set there of about 6, and it'll only cost me about 15 quid with postage. Yeah, good little models as well. So yeah, Ledo, Days Gone they're called, the range, they're really good. So yeah, that's it then. So yeah, everybody take care. I'll see you next time.